My name is Chase Johnson. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and we have used C3 Group several times on some of our large loss commercials and our higher end residential for their appraisal services and their public adjusting services. Their knowledge of the market, of the ever-changing regulations, and their ability to create a very thorough estimate from an understanding of construction and the management of the project.
Good afternoon, Hail Stalkers. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, that's right. You got me in here doing the hail forecast for today. We had a lot of fun yesterday actually doing some research on hail. How many of you guys, I want to see a show of hands, like do the little thumbs up or give us a high five or something if you have had a problem with soft or hard hail, because we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. Some of the research that we've been doing kind of behind the scenes. And so we're pretty excited about it. But again, special shout out to our sponsors. Our sponsors actually making even some of the research that we're doing possible, because this stuff's not cheap. It's very expensive. So C3 Group, man, guys over there, we really appreciate you guys up there in Denver, down in Texas, all over the country, really. Those guys are really rocking. And then we've got the Merlin Law Group, again, our sponsor as well. We really appreciate everything you guys do. And as always, if you haven't checked out Chip Merlin's blog, he's got some really, really good information in there, and I would definitely highly recommend taking a look at Chip Merlin's blog, because definitely some cool stuff to take a look at there. And as always, obviously we've got a new website, new mobile app here behind me, and lots of changes to that for some of you. So if you're having any issues with that, sometimes change is a little tough, just give us a call. We're real easy to talk to here at the office. We've got our phone number, 855-334-4245. Just give us a shout. Ask for Matt or Amanda or Melissa or Cody. There's a bunch of us here. We definitely want to make sure that we're there to help you guys out. And we're going to make sure that we're taking care of everything that we can do for you guys. So we really appreciate it here. So I wanted to show you guys yesterday, though. This was us up in northern Oklahoma chasing some storms here. And what we're doing is we're trying to determine soft and hard hail. But in order to do so and really figure that out, we've actually got to get a profile of these storms. So check it out. We've got the wall cloud. That's the dark cloud right there. So we're literally underneath the wall cloud at this point here. Got the rocket right there. You can, we're moving around there a bunch. So we've got our rocket setting on the ground in there, and we've got all these sensors inside of there, and we're able to actually measure different parts of the atmosphere as this rocket goes up. So we're pretty excited. This storm was at the moment was actually producing 2-inch hail. There's the rotation right there. You can see it right on top of us. So the idea is that we will shoot that rocket straight up, goes up to about 2,000 feet on its own, just the rocket itself will. So boom, goes up to 2,000 feet, parachute deploys, and then this thunderstorm actually has lift in it. So that lift will take that rocket and pull it up into the thunderstorm. And we want it to take it all the way up to 35,000 feet up in the air. And at that same time, we're going to be able to read measurements of what's going on around that storm and inside of that storm. And ideally, that's where we're actually going to be able to determine it. Here it goes here. Let's see if I can get out of the way. Rocket's getting ready to go. Let's watch for it. Boom, there it goes. And shot it up, and it actually didn't come back down. The storm took it off, and boom, we had research underway. We actually shot off 2 rockets yesterday, and we've got more plans coming up down the road to shoot off some more. So lots more hail chances. Today we're going to be here in the office. We will not be out storm chasing today, but Dallas is a little tougher to storm chase. There's a little bit of traffic, so that's kind of our target area, little secret there as to where we're going. So let's take a look at the forecast for today, what we got going on. So Wednesday, June 19th, here it is. Everybody down in Big D, I'm going to the Big D, and I do mean Dallas today. How about that? Here's a look at our swath area where we think the likelihood, this is kind of our risk area. So, you know, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, St. Louis, yeah, we got you in there. Little Rock, Arkansas, Dallas, Abilene, Lubbock, all the way back up the Front Range. Everything lifts up the mountains. We get lift and thunderstorms all the way up to Rapid City, South Dakota. Here's where we think the bigger hail, though, has a chance. This northern area has kind of a marginal chance that we could see some larger hail. There are some conditions that are favorable. Lapse rate's not as high as I typically would like, but we're watching this area. I think there's definitely a chance that we could see at least golf ball size hail up here around St. Louis later this afternoon, and then of course down here to Dallas. And we got to throw in some perp in here, so let's go ahead and fling that on there. There we go. Here's a look at what it is, and that's right. June 19th. Big time hailstorms in Denver last year on June 19th. Can we do it again in Dallas? I think we're going to have a chance here. So let's look at the chances for hail. Here we go. So 10% up around St. Louis. We're going to go 10% down here around Little Rock. Now, what do these numbers mean? This means 10% chance of at least quarter-size hail or larger in St. Louis and in Little Rock, and all points in between, basically right through this area. Now, as we go to the south and west, the storms get a little bit more robust. They're also lined up on a boundary, and so they're a little bit easier to kind of pinpoint where they're going to be. It means we're going to have more storms, and they're going to be stronger. The lapse rates at nearly 9 down here, really, really high lapse rates. Instability, so one of the things that we measure is called CAPE. We measure that right through this area right in here. We're going to be making a run at 8,000 joules per kilogram down here. Very, 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 very unstable down here. So if we can get a storm that is isolated, that's the key, right? This is going to be the key today, is the storm mode, okay? So if we get storms that just boom and they go up all over the place, then what we're going to see is the hail threat's going to go down. So it's going to be more marginalized because the storms are going to be messy. But if they can stay isolated and they can move through the Dallas metro, and we could see a couple different storms, but if they stay isolated, they move through the Dallas metro, then this number even goes up because we've got conditions that are very, very favorable for very large hail in the Dallas metro area. But again, the question is can we keep those storms broken down and isolated? And they're going to be a little bit more isolated back towards Abilene. Actually lowers the chance because there won't be as many storms. But if Abilene gets hit with a storm, it's going to have some big time hail as well. And then we got our hail kind of up and down the front range again, mainly quarter to $half type stuff, smaller hail all up and down the front range. So let's break it down. Let's take a look at what it looks like across the country as we look at it from a radar perspective. So this is predicted radar, and you can see the storms fire right here across Dallas, right? We're going to zoom in and take a look at those here in just a second, but I wanted to pay attention to just kind of the smattering, all the storms that basically fire across Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, possibly Kentucky. Quite a few of them here, and they just kind of, you can see them just fire up here, boom, boom, boom. They go through very close to the St. Louis metro, maybe to the south of there, and then across southern Illinois. Again, this is not the craziest threat, but definitely there are some storms. Orlando, I see that down there. That's more of a wind threat, just kind of your heavy garden variety thunderstorms on the sea breeze down there. So not what we're looking for hail in Orlando. Might get some pea-size hail out of that, but that's probably going to do it for you. Let's take a look at St. Louis. We talked about them right there. What do we think for hail size? Again, maxing out probably around golf ball. We're looking at 4 to 9 p.m. That's our time frame we're looking at. So around golf ball size hail, the chance of hail is about 15%. So not crazy. And the chance of us making a 3-star map up around the St. Louis area, we're going to go about a 10% chance. So we're not locking this in. So those of you going to say, hey, it's going to hail in Hailtrace said it's for sure hailing in St. Louis, you lying. That's what we got right there. Now let's zoom it in here. We'll zoom in that radar and notice. And so what we want to pay attention to here is, again, can the storm stay isolated? Now it's close. Look, clusters in the northeast part, but if you look when they first go up right on top of Dallas, Dallas is right here, okay, you can see how isolated they are, and then we actually have a second wave that actually moves through here. So that's what we're going to be watching for, okay? If they cluster up more like they do up here in northeast Texas, watch when they go up how quick they just boom, they just kind of merge together. If they do that right here in Dallas, our hail threat comes down, okay? But if they stay isolated like this, and then we have multiple waves move through, we get a 5-star map in Dallas, okay? So that's the key. That's the key for today. That's what we're going to have to watch, and we're going to see what it'll actually do here. So let's take a look. Let's hone it in on Dallas. Odds are storms are going to wait to fire until 6, probably even 7 o'clock, okay? So we're talking 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's our time zone for hail in Dallas. Max hail size, look at there. We're all the way over to extreme here. 3-inch hail is possible in Dallas. We could have some big time stuff here, okay? The chance of hail, about a 35% chance. So we're talking pretty high chances here, right? Chance of a 3-star map, it's about a 40% chance that we have a 3-star map here down in the Dallas, Texas, North Texas area. So again, we're pretty confident. We think there's a pretty good shot at this, but again, storm mode. Let's watch it. Let's see how these things fire up. as we go through the evening hours. So it'll be fun to see. All right, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast brought to you by the C3 Group. Guys, we really appreciate everything you do. And again, Merlin Law Group, man, we really do appreciate that. Lynn, we've actually got some stuff on the hail in Missouri. Once this is over with, you can just kind of rewind that back. But again, hail up to golf ball size, about a 10% chance up around St. Louis in that area. So here's our 5-day forecast for your hail chances. So again, Wednesday afternoon, big time hail, about a 45% chance that we make a 3-star map today. Hopefully, maybe we'll get a 5-star map. That would be a lot of fun. Our pick city for the day, this is kind of new. Pick city for the day, DFW. That's where we're going with for today. Best chances of seeing a big time hailstorm would be DFW across the entire country. They max it out. As we get into Thursday, we've got about a 15% chance of a 3-star map. So things kind of shift into a more rural area. We're going to watch 2 different pockets of storms. We're going to have a severe storm area across the East Coast. I think the hail threat will be down on that. Will be more of a wind threat. But then we're going to have a second area as a new disturbance kicks out into the plains. We have a lead trough that kind of kicks out. It's going to be up in Nebraska. So that lowers our population because it's in Nebraska. But we've got the 15% chance up to 2-inch hail. I think it's a little more marginalized as everything kind of kicks out. We're going with Lincoln, Nebraska here as our pick city on Thursday. Then as we get into Friday here, we've got a 20% chance of a 3-star map. So we've upped the number just a little bit, and that's because this storm system that comes out in Nebraska is actually going to kick out into the plains a little bit further. So that's going to increase the population a little bit more. We're going to go high population, and I think the hail size probably goes up on these storms as well. Really good lapse rates in place, the shears in place. And my pick city for Friday, and this might change, we're about 3 days down the road. John telling me I got the kiss of death here, jinxing this all the way across the board here. But we're going to go Kansas City as our pick city on Friday. We'll have to kind of watch that and see how things kind of hone in, but looks pretty impressive right now, especially being 3 days out. As we move on into Saturday, again, chances forecasting is a little bit tougher 4 days out, especially for hail, especially in the summertime. We get a lot of crazy storms kind of going up, but we could still see baseball-sized hail. That storm system is still in the plains, but it kind of shifts to the south, and it looks like population kind of backs up here. So we're going to go moderate, and Amarillo would be our pick city for Saturday. And then as we get into Sunday here, again, chances stay low, 10%. Up to baseball size hail, but population goes up. And again, forecasting is a little bit tougher as we get into Sunday, but right now we're going to go Chicago. This storm system moves out up into the Midwest on Sunday. And again, I wouldn't say Chicago's for sure getting hail yet. Again, chances are pretty low right now, but as we get a little closer, as we trend this into day 1, day 2, day 3, that's when our confidence can go up and we can start to forecast that just a little bit better. So we'll see what happens. But again, as always, make sure to follow our posts. That way you can get alerted to when these things actually pop up. They'll actually let you know every time we come on live on Facebook. Just click on the little follow button right there and then just click on see first. When you do that, it'll actually alert you every time that we go live. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, get your Insta posts going, right? All that stuff right there. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com. You can chat with us on our website at hailtrace.com. Tons and tons of stuff, tons of ways to get a hold of us. You should be able to get a hold of us. We're here to help, and that's our goal for sure. So again, guys, we appreciate it. Thanks for everything. Thanks for watching. And as always, if there's anything we can do, just give us a shout, and we'll be watching Dallas today. Take care.